Welcome to the Cove. I wanted to do this video. It's interesting because I did a video at noon and some of you could not hear me. And I just worked out one of the kinks and now I'm told that my audio is working. And it's interesting because what I was speaking about was process and what happens through the process when you're going towards progress. And sometimes when you envision something, like many of you have before you took this or said yes to this journey, you visualized or you had an expectation of how that journey would look or how that journey might play out, right? Just like for me, I had and still have a vision of how the circle of vitality should look, how the process should go and how the video should run smoothly and everyone can hear me all the time and the site just runs perfectly. But guess what? Through process, sometimes there are stumbling blocks that come along and there are things that may not go exactly as you planned. But what do we do in the process? So for myself, I could have just said, no more videos today. It was an impromptu video anyway, but no, I wanted to give you this video. So I started over. I did this video again because now that you can hear me, I wanted to be sure that you receive this message. And so what I began speaking about in the last video was about process. And I posted something recently on Facebook. And it was about myself. I recently, decided to about a year and a half ago to go natural, to change my hair. I wanted to, do this chemical-free thing. And so I went natural and I cut my hair off really, really short, And then, it grew back and now it's at a length that I absolutely love. And my hair is healthy and it's got its great shining luster and I love it. So I took this picture of myself and I posted it on Facebook, and it's a picture with my hair that it's grown out. But you know what? I wasn't concentrating on my hair. I was concentrating on the process of growth that I experienced. The Tangy that cut off her hair really short, and then the Tangy now with this hair, past her shoulders. And it, like I said, it's not the natural that I was focused on. It was the process and the growth process that I experienced, that person that has grown both personally and professionally. Because through that process, I have been stretched, right? Through the time that I cut my hair, it's actually the time length, not the process of waiting, the in-between stages of my hair, because that was irrelevant. It was me personally and professionally, what I've gone through in my life, that looking at this Tangy now with this hair, she's different than the person with this short hair. I have gone through so much, right? And it's been challenges, and maybe some of you have cut off a relationship, you've cut off mediocrity, you've cut off this self talk that has been negative in your life, or maybe you did something that was bigger than you. You stepped out on a vision or a dream that, probably you looked at the resources that you had and you're like, how can I do this? And you began to step out on faith and a dream. And so the process, through that process, there's a pruning that takes place, right? Sometimes there's pain that is associated through the process. And so with pain, we can either stop in our tracks, we can allow the pain to paralyze us where we cannot move forward, where we allow the excuses to come. And because with pain sometimes can also produce excuses. So the excuses try to validate the stagnation. Okay, let me repeat that. With pain sometimes comes excuses, and the excuses can justify the stagnation, the reason why you are not moving forward and going to where you're supposed to be. And so what I am suggesting is that with the pain, move with the pain. Don't allow it to stop you. And through this process right now of transformation, many of you are in the circle of vitality because you want to be better. Remember, Even Dr. Axe said, write down your why. We did a why statement here in the Circle of Vitality, and it was confirmed by Dr. Axe. He said, why do you want a healthier body? Why do you want to, grow to a place of vitality? Is it because, you want to get in a particular dress? Is it because you're going to a family reunion? Or is it because that you understand that your possibilities run so deep and your purpose that's the reason why there is something for you to do, and you need to be vigorous. You need to have clarity, and you cannot have clarity of thought if you are sick, if you are weak, and if you are in the bed and not having the energy that you need, or if you're carrying around excess weight. Because when you have excess weight, you are not operating in your true authenticity. It is not the essence of who you are. And I always say that the reason why we're in this process is not to get an itty bitty teeny weeny polka dot bikini. It is so that we can be authentic and walk our purpose with vitality, right? And so some people are not at the weight that they were created by God to be at. And so for me, I've been excited because for a while I have maintained this particular weight, I've actually, or this size, right? Because my weight has actually increased, but my weight stays the same because muscle does weigh more than fat. So that's why I encourage people, don't just weigh yourselves, right? Every day. You have to understand that, muscle does weigh more than fat. And so sometimes you have to look at your inches, but that is not what I want to talk about right now. I want to talk about this process for each and every one of you. And I want to encourage you to look at the growth. If you're measuring your growth by how much weight you're losing, by how drastically you're cleaning out your cabinet according to someone else, I'm going to ask you to look at that differently. Your growth, it matters that you are growing, okay? So the pace of your growth, don't be so concerned about that. Be concerned and take joy in the fact that you are growing, okay? That you are doing something different than you did yesterday. So maybe, like Dr. Axe said, some of you may clear out your cabinets, very quickly, or some of you may look at that item staring you in the face. Your progress may be, I only ate 2 when I usually eat 10, of those low-fat cookies or whatever you're partaking in that is not, benefiting you the way that it should. And so with progress, you guys, and with process, sometimes things, they don't go according to plan. Just like in the Circle of Vitality, I had to re-record this video because the audio was not working. And I could have just, cried about it and said, oh no, things are not working. But no, I understand that with process, sometimes there are things that come in the way, but they can come as a distraction to make you feel like you are not on the right path. And I know that I am on the right path because I look at you and I see so much possibility. And in the Circle of Vitality, I see a group of women that really are getting ready to be launched further into their purpose, into power, into greatness. I've spoken with many of you. I feel that thing. I sense it. And that is why I can continue, even through the little bumps that come along the way, to know and to have that faith that things are going to get better, and I'm going to improve that process. So anyway, I wanted to start off with talking to you about that, but I wanted to also speak with you about a little things as well as it pertains to some questions that I've received within the code. One of the questions that I received is in the morning. I know when many of you are working out in the morning, or you have just a small span of time before you that you have between getting off work and working out, and you're running home and you don't want to eat a big meal, or it's in the morning and you're not that hungry, so you're saying, Tangi, what do I do? For me, you don't want to just not eat anything, right? Because you definitely need fuel for your body, especially in the morning when after your body's just been resting and digesting all night, it's getting up. You're going to need some fuel to kickstart that body, right? So I have a smoothie, okay? And in my smoothie, I use this Vega protein. This is one of plant-based proteins that I love. I also love New Plus. I order that online, but if I don't have my New Plus readily available, this is what I use. And if you can see here, everyone, this Vega protein is plant-based. I'm going to take it here so you can see that there's no, let me take it here, there's gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free as well. And if you look here, everyone, I'm going to turn it around here. It has your greens in there. It has your protein. Can you see? It has your fiber, your probiotics, your omega-3s, and your antioxidants, your vitamins, and your minerals. So this is what I love, everyone. And what I do, I usually use water and some blueberries, a half a frozen banana, and I love it. And so it tastes kind of like a milkshake. So sometimes in the evening, especially if it's right after 7 o'clock and I don't want to eat a big meal, then this is what I'll have. So you definitely want to make sure that you're eating in the mornings. I don't do the soy proteins or the whey proteins. I make sure that I get a plant-based protein, okay? So with a lot of vitamins and minerals in it. And then I also put kale and spinach in there as well to get an extra dose of my live greens. And when you put it in the smoothie, you cannot taste it anyway. And so I wanted to make a mention of that. Also talking about, I've got some people asking questions concerning their eating. You know, they're writing everything down and their food logs, right? And so I'm looking at one of the food logs in the Cove, and one of the food logs, someone put that they had some pancakes in the morning, and they had some fresh blueberries on it, some crushed almonds as well. They drizzled it in honey. So I've been asked, you know, Tangi, can I have pancakes? You know, my family likes pancakes on Sunday mornings, and I'm wondering. So I want to talk about pancakes because some of you have had pancake mix, you know, in your cabinets for years. It's the Aunt Your Mama pancake mix. It's Hungry Jack, and if you look, it says partially hydrogenated soybean oil, or it may have high fructose corn syrup. And so there are pancake mixes out there that you can do. You can make your own. So Dr. Axe has a pancake mix, and I maybe we'll post that recipe. I wanted to share that with you all. It's in his cookbook, but you can use a different type of flour in there that's not enriched or bleached. You can use a whole wheat flour. You know, you can make your own pancakes that are free of preservatives. So we'll be posting a pancake recipe on the Cove so that you can see, you know, that's something that you can partake in as well. Make sure that you're staying away from the dressing on there or the syrup that is full of the refined sugars, like your Mrs. Butterworth or your Log Cabin. Even if Log Cabin says, you know, no high fructose corn syrup, it's still sugar, right? So pure maple syrup is the syrup that you want to use. This person used honey. They also used fresh blueberries as well, and so that was wonderful. And in their mix, they used a little salmon. Or sorry, not salmon, but cinnamon. Gross. That would be gross, right? Salmon and pancakes, but cinnamon. So, you know, these are things that you would do in moderation. But if you're going to do a pancake, again, make it homemade. You know, balance it out with your blueberries and your bananas and your strawberries, you know, and watch what you put on that pancake as far as that topping, okay, as well. Here, the next person I'm looking at breakfast, they used they had a smoothie with kale, cherries, and they used the vegan protein and the almond milk. So remember, almond milk is processed, and so I would encourage you to, you know, try not to use milk the next time when you use your vegan protein, because really this protein has so much good stuff in it. I'm telling you, you will not miss the milk, and it will allow you to, you know, have more of that natural experience, because remember, almond milk is still processed, okay? I'm looking here, I'm just going down looking at different breakfast items people have had. They had pancakes and scrambled eggs. So, you know, we know that when you're looking at that meal in the morning, your pancakes, that's what? Acidic, right? We know all flour is acidic. The eggs are acidic. So that in the morning, you've had a meal that really is not providing you that optimal energy, right? So how could we, what can we do? Where can we start? And the baby steps, you all, would be, what can I remove that's acidic, right? And what can I add that's alkaline? So remember, alkaline is that food that to energize your body. That's that food that's life, right? That life-giving food that's nutrient dense, that's meant to aid your body in fighting off, you know, anything that's not good, right? And renewing your body. And so those are the foods that you want to eat, foods that work in your favor. So what can I say about this meal? Pancakes and eggs, right? So we know both are acidic. So could you have, you know, removed the eggs, you know, and balanced it out with an amazing fruit medley with your, you know, some pineapples and some blueberries and some strawberries, you know, that's to go with the pancake. Or if you're going to remove the pancakes with the eggs, what can I do to increase my alkalinity in my eggs? Well, I'm going to saute some spinach and some tomatoes and some what is it? Your onions, right? And to make sure that you alkalinize those eggs. And so that is the key, everybody. What can you remove that is acidic, and what can you add as alkaline? So someone did an omelet, right? On this one, and so in their omelet they had a lot of good stuff in the omelet, some kale, some spinach, some tomatoes in the omelet, but they also had cheese. We know that all dairy is acidic. And so instead of, could you have said, okay, instead of the cheese, I'm going to put some sliced avocado in my omelet. So those are the different things that you want to think of, and those are the ways that you can go ahead and change that. So again, we're just looking at breakfast right now. Another person had Cheerios and almond milk. Okay, so Cheerios and almond milk. The Cheerios, I would ask you to look at those ingredients. Some of them, especially the Honey Nut Cheerios, you know, they have, you know, added sugar in there, and a lot of the Cheerios too some of them are enriched. And so there are some Cheerios from Whole Foods that are whole grain Cheerios that still have some good nutrients in there. You want to watch your and you put it with almond milk. So we know Cheerios, that's acidic, right? Your almond milk is acidic. So what can you do to better, you know, get some good whole live nutrition in there? So in those Cheerios, you can throw some sliced blueberries, some sliced strawberries in there. You can, you know, some sliced bananas or what have you. So I love that everyone is thinking differently. You know, this person used to eat things like Frosted Flakes and things like that are full of sugar. So kudos to you. You know, there's a starting point, and that's great. And I'm looking here. I want to go a little. I made some notes here, and I wanted to talk about someone who she's really reaching out, and she's or reaching beyond the scope of, you know, segment that she's thinking outside the box rather, and she's creating her own food. And I wanted to encourage you all that in this process you really want to find out what you really like. And for me to send everybody a list of things that how I eat, you know, you may not want to do that, and it may actually make you not enjoy the process because your taste buds may not be awakened yet to those sort of things, you know. And so this process should allow you to really discover what you enjoy. And so this particular person, you know, a chocolate pudding was something that she loved, and she discovered a new way to make chocolate pudding. And I've had this particular pudding before. It's with avocados, and it's with cacao powder, and you use maple syrup, and it is so delicious. You know, you're not getting the dairy in there, but you're getting the antioxidants and the cacao powder, and you're also getting all of the good, nutritious things as far as from the avocado. So it's a way that you can still eat, you know, things and enjoy food. Like Dr. Axe said, you know, he doesn't feel deprived, and neither do I. You know, you begin to eat this way because, you know, your body now craves this particular type of food. So so kudos to this particular person. I wanted to go ahead and look at another particular. Now I'm going to move to lunch. Okay, so I went through some breakfast things, and before I do that, I did want to show really quickly some things that I love to partake in for breakfast. It is the quinoa here. I love quinoa. I make quinoa for breakfast, and I'll have with my quinoa I'll put some sliced apples in there. I'll put some walnuts in there, and a little maple syrup, a little cinnamon, and that's good. There's also a quinoa cereal too here that you can use. It's a great cereal that is actually comes in a box like this. This one is actually a rice and shine cereal, gluten-free cereal, but with lots of 42 whole grains in it. But remember, these things are still processed, but it's better than like your grits and things of that nature. They also have one that I like. It's a quinoa. Sometimes I flip back and forth to give my body a rest on some things as well. So that was, somebody asked me, you know, about some quick things that they can do for breakfast. So I also wanted to now go into lunch. So, and I've written down some of you've written down some things that you have for lunch. And one person, this is one thing, they had some chicken salad. Of course, you all, I'm sure you're aware of the chicken salads, whether it's the tuna salad or the chicken salad. They had it on some whole wheat bread with some tomatoes on there as well. So with that particular chicken salad sandwich, you know, the bread is acidic, right? The bread is acidic, the chicken salad is acidic, and so, you know, all of those, especially what's in the chicken salad too, the mayo that's in there, and all of those things, you want to make sure that you are eating balanced. So what can you do to balance that out, right? So on that, maybe a scoop of the chicken, you're going to put on that salad, you're going to put it on a salad, and you're going to have a bed of greens full of remember those nutrient-dense greens that we talked about, your spinach, your kale, your arugula, your chard, right? If you want to mix some romaine in there, you can. But you're going to have a good foundation of greens. And then around those greens, you're going to have a little small scoop of chicken salad in the middle. Around those greens, you're going to have the different color vegetables. You may have some red, yellow, and green bell pepper. You may have some tomato slices or some cucumber slices that are on that salad. So remember, you want to make sure that you're getting that variety. And then with the chicken salad, you're thinking, what can I remove that's acidic? What can I add that's alkaline? Most of the chicken salad is going to have mayo in there, or whatever that ingredient is to make the chicken salad. Well, that's acidic. So can you just have sliced chicken breast in there? And you know, and put that on top of your salad, that you can remove what is acidic and the other ingredients that's taking away from your energy reserve. So those are the things, guys, that you want to think about. I also had someone who had a bowl of soup and an almond butter sandwich. And so, you know, kudos to you. You're doing almond butter instead of peanut butter, because remember, peanuts carry a certain type of mold. Peanuts are more acidic to the body. And if you're going to do peanut butter, you want to make sure that it's organic peanut butter and that it's not Jiffy Mix, you know, because Jiffy Mix is full of sugars and partially hydrogenated soybean oil. So check your peanut butter, everyone. It should just say roasted peanuts, right? That's really all you need. Is there's a lot of natural peanut butters out there. But in some of the peanut butters, it may say mixed with palm oil and cane sugar and all those other things, and salt. So read your ingredients. There's many butters out there, like peanut butter and almond butter, that are just the peanuts or the almonds. So almond butter would be the one of choice. You know, that is more alkaline to the body, and so that is the one that you would want to use. Okay. So the next thing, so your almond butter. So she had an almond butter sandwich, right? And on a piece of bread, and it's just didn't say the name of the bread, but I would encourage you all to get Ezekiel bread, or I love what's called Genesis bread, and we're going to be doing a grocery store tour next week. I'm excited about that. But you want to do your Ezekiel bread. On there is sprouted grains. A lot of the breads at Walmart, they're full of high fructose corn syrup and other things as well. So what you're thinking about is what can I remove, and what can I place to give me energy? So in this case, you have the almond butter, which is great. So kudos to you for using almond butter instead of peanut butter, right? Instead of the Jiffy Mix. You had it on a piece of bread, so maybe you can put Ezekiel bread next time rather than the bread that's out of the Nature's Own or whatever that's in Walmart, right? Because a lot of that bread has preservatives and other things in it as well. So then they had some soup on the side. So already the bread, that sandwiches was more on the acidic side. Then you have your soup. My question would be, where are you getting the soup from? Did you make this soup yourself? Is it homemade? Did you get it from a Jason's Deli or a Panera Bread or another restaurant? You know, chances are that soup is so high in sodium that it's pretty much killing even if you got vegetable soup, it's killing the benefit of those vegetables, right? It's kind of like collard greens. If you use neck bones and bacon or whatever have you, turkey necks to make collard greens, you killed the collard green. It is no longer going to be alkaline for the body. You've changed it for it to be acidic to you, right? So the same way with your soup, you know, the more sodium and all of those things that you add in there, the sodium is really going to take away from the benefit of a vegetable soup. So it's better to make your own soups, everybody out there. So what can you do to, if you're looking at soup, how can you remove what is not being a benefit, and that's the sodium. So, you know, with a soup, there's a vegetable broth out there. Sometimes I make my own soup without vegetable broth. Once you put your onions and your garlic in there, your cumin, all of your different vegetables and all of those spices, it's going to give that soup flavor. You know, you can even use a coconut milk in a soup. You can put coconut milk with potatoes and make your own sort of like that broccoli soup with like a broccoli cheddar or whatever, but you're not using cheddar, you're using broccoli and you're using coconut milk and you're using some other things that's fabulous. So we're going to share those recipes. So with the soup, you know, you want to make sure that if you're going to do vegetables, that you really keep the integrity of those vegetables. So with this one, I would have loved to have seen some carrot slices, maybe some with broccoli, maybe some celery on the side, but definitely this lunch is missing some good vegetables with it. Okay, this particular person had grilled chicken and some carrot sticks on the side. You know, with grilled chicken, and you look at this particular meal, you know, chicken is of course very acidic to the body, and really the chicken can sometimes knock out the carrots. You know, great that you had the carrots, but I would say you want more nutrient dense foods with the chicken. Okay, so you want to have with the carrots, you want those carrots to accompany a great huge salad. Remember, I've asked you all to please work on adding a salad with every lunch and every dinner. Okay, because chances are when you're starting out, you're still eating a little bit more on the acidic side, just like the person who had the soup and the almond butter sandwich. You know, if you were to add a salad with that, you're making sure that you're getting those nutrient dense foods. So this is a great way to ensure that. So remember that salad, have at least 3 vegetables on there every time. So I wanted to go over that, and real quickly here, this is a superstar dinner of the week. The superstar dinner is a palm-sized serving of salmon. Person has some asparagus with this as well, and a great salad with radishes, cucumbers. There was spinach, there was kale, there was chard on here, and did I say carrots too as well, and some zucchini. So this was very, very good. What a great salad. So asparagus and they also had the salmon. So with their omega-3s in there, they got that in. I think that was great. And a little spoonful of brown rice on the side. So kudos. I think that's a superstar meal that was for dinner of the week. So I just wanted to give some tidbits today. Again, this was an impromptu session, and I also wanted to encourage you guys to reach out to your partners. You guys have been given some great partners for a reason, and I don't always know why I put certain people together, but I find out that something organically happens with the relationship, and it really ends up being a great partnership. So please send questions before every Lunch and Learn. I'll be doing Lunch and Learns weekly, so send them to info@circleofvitality.com so that I can have the questions ahead of time, and I can see exactly what you are thinking about, what you need ahead of time. So of course, make sure that you keep your schedules too as well for your workouts. Make sure that you have gone into where it says profile and you've gone to edit, and everybody should have their workout schedule. And if it changes or if it needs to be tweaked that week, please go in and tweak it so that you can know what you need to do for every week. Remember, this is about a personal progression, but it's going to take that self-motivation. It's going to take the big D, the big discipline, baby. You got to make sure that you are looking at your level, your thermometer of discipline to say, okay, where am I? You know, what did I do last week, and take inventory of that week so that you can make sure that this week is better. So again, thank you for submitting and committing, implementing, participating, and expecting. I will see you soon, everybody in the Cove. Please, please comment on everyone's post. We want to see you in the Cove. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're behind. You're right on time. You are not behind. This is your personal journey. Make sure that you don't compare with anyone else. Remember, it's about growth, okay? So growth needs to be measured by the fact that you're growing. That's the measure of success, okay? You're doing it and you're continuing, and thank you, and I will see you all in the Cove. See you soon.